Hello, I'm Robbie Hanna Anderman, and from near Killaloe, Ontario, and I'm the author of the Healing Trees book, The Edible and Herbal Qualities of Northeastern Woodland Trees. And I'm here to welcome you to the beginning and generation of our Healing Trees Forest School video series. And today we're focusing our attention on the balsam poplar tree, also known as bamigili, up here, or en français, peuplier baumier. And the buds, which in future editions will have a bud in the middle, and the bud for the tree, which is one of the most medicinal parts of the tree, will be there. And that's what the bud looks like. Because the bud has incredible medicinal qualities, not so much edible as medicinal. And it has a sweet, spicy aroma to the buds, which makes a wonderful salve and a very potent tincture. And my intention today is to show you harvesting this is a young juvenile tree. As you can see, the stem is very thin comparatively. And then I can show you, this will be a mature tree as it's grown a bit. They go good size. What I'm looking at today is to harvest the tree and take it all up to where I can sit down in the sunlight and pick off the buds individually. And it's not that warm, so I won't get too sticky. If it's really warm, you get one's fingers really sticky, which you can clean off with any oil. So what I think I would like to proceed doing is to harvest this young tree. The reason I'm harvesting it, it's right in the shade of this big birch, white birch, which now at the moment has lots of catkins on it, male pollen carriers. And it also is in the way of a driveway coming through here, and almost got run over yesterday, so I realized it's time for the change. So what I've brought with me is a little bit of tobacco that grew in my garden last year, and bamigili, balsam poplar. I've come to you asking for your healing energies, that we may be able to put all your medicinal qualities into salves and to tinctures and be able to help people with their pains and bruises and tightnesses and muscular challenges. And sore knees, that's one I've been using a lot. And so I'm offering you this tobacco and understanding that this is a major change for you. And I'm asking of you your medicinal, and only this which is precious to me and dearly cared for. So what I have here is a pruning saw, which I use for pruning pear trees and apple trees and other trees. And what I like to do is breathe on the steel. Steel is so it's a relatively new introduction to humans. And I want to honor all the earth energies that gave themselves to, that we might have steel. And also at the same time say, this is a bit of me, this is my breath. And please, may this be all that you take from me. In my many years of using saws like this, I've had a few of the cuts from it. One has to be careful and paying attention. There we see the full light, how it's come off of here. It's a relatively young tree, and the buds won't be as sticky as a big tree. and then I put it back with thanks and taking out the any bit of, as long as I'm pulling away from the sharp teeth. It's a double row, so it's one side and the other side. Okay, now we can carry her uphill, and I'll take off the broken branches that are already on it. Okay, let's head on up. So here we are up the hill with a bench to work on. And there's the tree we cut down. And what I'm going to do is make it a little more workable, and which is using another bit of seal, so-called a Felco 7 secateurs, and the handle rotates so that when you're pruning for days and hours and days, that your hand doesn't go keep rubbing on it and get tired. So you're able to keep pruning for days, which is wonderful. So what I'm looking for here is, let's say, here we have the aim that we're working on is to pick off this bud. Now the bud here, you see how long that bud is? That's a pretty long bud for a tree. I mean, beech are long like that, but no other poplar is. Well, okay, cottonwood is, but it doesn't grow around here. So I'm looking to pick off this bud. And you can see the difference between, say, this bud and, say, this one, which is near the top. There we go. And you can see one's thinner than the other. One's juicier, fatter. And that is, this is going to be a lead to grow more branch, whereas some of these were going to open up into flowers and catkins. So the aim now is to be harvesting, so that we can then put it into, in this case, balsam poplar in alcohol. So we're making a tincture out of it. And again, all the qualities of the tincture are mentioned in the Healing Trees book here. And wonderful for throat and cough and things like that nature. Or the other one here is we have it in balsam poplar buds in organic olive oil, which was done a week or so ago. And what happens with it from here, so what we're doing is we're taking this olive oil, well, putting the buds into the olive oil, and then what we heat it up after 4 to 6 weeks, and add beeswax to give it a texture which is, let's say, the beeswax gives it a texture like so. And the alternative to using vegetable fats are using animal fats. And I have a friend who takes people out bear hunting, and they often choose to not take the fat with them. And one has to take that, and he kindly gave it to me for making Minigan, which is the bear fat balsam poplar salve. And so what we have here now is the bear fat itself, which, as you can see, is a liquid. If it was really cold, it would be a solid, sort of like lard. But bear fat has many of the qualities that the balsam poplar does, in the sense of being analgesic, helping pain in muscles and joints, and it seems to penetrate the skin better than the vegetable oils. And in early spring, let's see, when young, the balsam poplar, known locally as Bamagilli, looks like other poplars with its smooth green bark. It's the bronze tone of the underside of the leaves, and the reddish brown of the twigs and the larger buds, and the gray hue of the green bark that set it apart. When mature, the older bark turns dark gray with rough vertical ridges. They need full sunlight to grow, and that's pretty much where you find them, in full sunlight rather than in the middle of a forest. In the early spring, balsam poplars can be distinguished by the sweet, spicy aroma, definitely there, of their buds. This is the time when the buds are most resinous and ready to be harvested. The buds are rich in salicin and have some of aspirin's pain-relieving effects, but not its negative aspects. Chewed fresh, the buds have a very pungent, clove-like flavor that lingers for hours in the mouth, with the resins often sticking to the teeth. So what I think we'll shift over to, I'll do some, oh yeah, I also wanted to show you that when it's in bear fat, it's called minigan. And what's easy to see here is that it's, again, just like so, smells about the same, maybe even more so, whereas the other one smells like olive oil and balsam poplar, which the balsam poplar resins also give an antioxidant effect for other salves, and so they don't go rancid. And just to show, this is again what we wrote on a container. And when it's neat and new, it looks just like so. That's with the beeswax. Good for the hands. So what I'm going to do just for a few minutes here is pick some buds so I can show you putting them into the bear fat. We found this extra container of the bear fat, and that's why we're picking more. We've been doing a whole bunch with the olive oil. So it's a real simple process, just almost a snapping off. And sometimes they get sticky to the fingers and you have to shake them off. But it's sort of just going up the tree, each branch one after another. Or you can break off the branches and just do a pile of them, which is what we've done. You can see over there the pile that's recently been harvested of their buds. And one thing I've found and I'm learning is that bigger trees have more resinous buds and generally bigger buds. They've had more time to do that, and plus they're more likely to be having buds that are going to turn into catkins, putting out the male pollen, to because these trees are dioecious. That means die too. You need a male and a female of each tree to be able to make seed, and it puts out a fluffy carrier for the seed, sort of like milkweed, or what people know as cottonwood, which can actually be used as cotton for medicinal uses. Like if you made the salve and you put it on a place that might get rubbed, then you could put the fluff on the salve on top of the skin, and then from there you can tape it or tie it in place, and the cotton of it would go and keep you from getting all this resinous oil on your anything that you don't want to get resinous oil on. Got to look for the ones we missed. Oh, looks pretty good. Oh, there's one hiding. Okay, now let's go over here. One thing I do note also is that it's relatively it's not hard to break when it's tender and young. It's not a very strong wood, so there's not many uses for it other than as firewood, or it can be done into boards. We have a bunch of boards we're considering what to do with. When we harvested a big tree last year, it was too beautiful to just turn it into firewood, so we harvested it for boards, and a friend came by with a portable sawmill, and we're able to make wonderful boards that I wouldn't use like on the side of a barn or anything. Doesn't really want to be exposed to the weather. Great tool. Long-time friend, usually lives in here. Made this many years ago and I've had to redo it a bit. Stiff, not stiff, it's sort of flexible. So what we could do now is give a space and collect a bunch that we then can put in. So I've picked now a bunch of these balsam poplar buds. See different sizes, and the green and the resiny brown husk. And what I'm basically going to do now is just pour them into the bare fat. And that looks like so. And since my scoutmaster back in childhood told me, when in need, improvise. A very good lesson, Jacques Levine. And so what I'm doing here is using a branch that I've just clipped off the rest of the tree here, and I'm stirring it in, the buds I have, and it's now ready basically to wait until I get more. But you can see it's shining through there, and if I put it on the wood stove, on the drying rack or the warming oven, it'll turn very much like this while it'll become more see-through here. It might be easier to see that in here. Amazing part of balsam poplar buds that we've really surprised us, we keep forgetting year to year, but we're learning, is that the buds, it's like if you fill it up, you can't fill it to the top because the buds in oil start to expand. And when they expand, they actually start leaking out the top. And disconcerting. Something to clean up. And losing so many of the wonderful benefits thereof. So what we'll be doing is harvesting the rest of these and maybe a few more to fill this up, and using its wonderful benefits. So again, this is the Healing Trees book and the beginning of the Healing Trees Forest School. And I'm Robbie Hanna Anderman, and the book is available from Burnstown Publishing House, or from, let's see, it should say in here. Okay, it doesn't. It has it further in. The Healing, so what there is there's the Healing Trees, book Facebook page. And there's also the website, healingtreesbook.com. And that's where you can get more information. There we go. See, it has quite a bibliography. What I'll also do is put on the information here under balsam poplar. Each tree in here is alphabetically arranged. And to give you the information about the buds on Facebook and on YouTube, so that you can actually understand more why for centuries and forever perhaps, people have been seeking out the balsam poplar buds as a medicinal aid to living on Earth here. So that's where we are, that's who we are, and yours truly, Robbie.